Hi everyone, my name is Josh, and today on LegitMTG.com, we're talking Hour of Devastation, Modern, and what may be for the format. Remember, free shipping on orders $2 or more on LegitMTG.com. Hey everyone, thanks for hanging out with us here on LegitMTG.com. Let's see, this past weekend the Hour of Devastation pre-releases happened, and soon enough they'll be happening on Magic the Gathering Online as well. We're going to get a lot of new cards on the clients. Formats are going to start getting impacted by those cards. We'll have deck list and data, and soon enough the Pro Tour will be here and Standard will be solved, and it'll be time to start talking about new cards again. Probably Iconic Masters, but for right now it's Hour of Devastation. Standard is where most of these cards are going to see play. And that's okay because, well, sets are designed for limited and standard play. There are some sweet little nuggets for other formats though. Mirage Mirror looks like it could be super cool in Vintage. Torment of Hellfire, probably going to be one of the most annoying cards in Commander. I know that I'm going to be putting a copy of it in my Vile Smasher the Fierce deck. Tribal Wars gets a Horse Lord. I don't know why it gets a Horse Lord, but it does. But I'm not here to talk about Tribal Wars or Standard or any other format. I am here to talk about Modern and what Hour of Devastation may have in regards to it. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. We're going to start off with Gideon's Defeat. As an instant, you exile a target white creature that's attacking or blocking, but if it was a Gideon Planeswalker, you gain 5 life. Alright, so the 5 life gain, pretty cool. I like the conditional removal. Granted, this doesn't hit something big, powerful like Death Shadow, but it does hurt some stuff like Death and Taxes. This can remove Athalia. This can remove a Leonine Arbiter. Restoration Angel. A lot of cool stuff sees play that, and since it's an exile effect, getting stuff like Kitchen Finks, perfect. Okatra's Last Mercy. It's one of those cards that I like. It's a sideboard card, I think, at best. Being able to gain a ton of life against burn decks is pretty good. And if you're going from, like, oh, say, 4 to 20, it doesn't really matter if your land's untap or not. So the drawback, I don't feel is that huge for a massive life gain spell. Overwhelming Splendor is a card that I'm going to put into an Enduring Ideal deck, cast it, and then retire from Magic with a speech like Lou Gehrig had. Because whenever I put this in play, I'm going to feel like the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Solemnity. This is where white gets real in Hours of Devastation. Players can't get counters. Counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. What are you gonna do, Counter Company? Okay, I guess you're gonna blow up the enchantment, but it slows those counter decks down in theory enough to where you should be able to disrupt them. Moving on to Steward of Solidarity. There's a lot of hype about this card, an Intruder Alarm. I mean, Intruder Alarm combo already exists in Modern. I don't know if a blue-white version is going to make it any better. I don't personally see it. But with the potential of this combo deck existing, there's a very good chance that I've just missed something. And it turns out to be more broken than Splinter Twin. And then we get a rare from Stronghold bans, which doesn't seem very fair for Intruder Alarm. Fraying Sanity seems like one of those cards you'd fit into Esper Mill. Also a card that will have a large bit of casual appeal, but I mean, it's a mill card. Mill cards are great. Jace's Defeat is a fancy gainsay. Wouldn't this card be wild as like foreshadowing to them unbanning Jace the Mind Sculptor? I mean, not to get all tinfoil hatty and stuff, but there you go. I just did. Strategic Planning. I figure if the cards has seen play in Eternal formats, it should be strong enough for something like Modern. I see this card sliding perfectly into Blue-Red Storm. Striped River Rinder. That was significantly harder for me to say than I thought it would be. Just a giant cycling hexproof guy. Living In probably likes this guy a lot. Now we're moving on to black. We've got Bantu's Last Reckoning. So 3 casting cost mass removal spell, destroys all creatures. You have the lands don't untap drawback. If you're getting rid of everything, they're taking a turn to rebuild. You can afford to let your lands untap. Besides Solemnity, I believe this Liliana's Defeat may be the best card in the set for Modern. It is sorcery speed removal for very problematic cards in the formats. It deals with Death Shadow. It deals... Oops, not ready to go there yet. Anyways, it deals with Death Shadow. It deals with Liliana of the Veil. Those 2 cards see a tremendous amount of play in the formats. And if you kill Liliana of the Veil, they lose 3 life. So you have a bump in the night that killed a Planeswalker. Pretty cool. Razaketh's Rights is, at surface, just a really bad demonic tutor because it costs 5. But it also cycles for 1 black. Why is it on this list? Because I've played enough Living Ends to know that sometimes you just don't draw a cascade spell, and being able to set yourself up to either cycle your way into the Violent Outburst or Demonic Dread, or just to go tutor for it, is pretty outstanding, I think. Abrade, it's a modal spell. It either deals with a creature or destroys an artifact. Nothing fancy, should see some play. Chandra's Defeat. Alright, we've got a way to kill Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker. But more importantly, we've got a way to deal with Torture Defiance, which is starting to see some play. It's a way to deal with Nahiri, which has been seen played cheating Emrakul for some time now. The whole draw, discard, loot thing is a nice little tacked on thing. But just being able to deal 5 damage to a red creature, or taking out a red Planeswalker, I think is pretty good. I wonder if Chandra's Defeat's ever going to take out a Tybalt. I like Hazoret's Undying Fury. I don't know if it's going to see play, but it's one of those cards that is subtly powerful. Like, you build this, obviously, you build decks with the 5 or less cost in mind. So this is another thing that I can see Storm going, or another tool that I can see for Storm. It's a, I guess, a fixed Mind's Desire, but then it's not really even fixed, because with Mind's Desire you had to cast extra spells. But I think it's an interesting card that has a tremendous amount of build around potential. Life Goes On. If Feed the Clan sees some sideboard play, I don't see why Life Goes On shouldn't either. Majestic Mirarch? I kind of like this in Elves. Not because of its second ability, which is at the beginning of each combat, if you control a creature with fly and it gets flying, and the same being true for first strike, double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. The power and toughness each equal to twice the number of creatures you control. Elves floods the board, so you can theoretically get this out very quickly and just start pounding on your opponents. Nissa's Defeat. Nissa's not seen a ton of play in Modern, which is fine, so you're probably not going to get the draw card option a lot, but this card kills Garruk. It kills Utopia Sprawled Lands. It kills Wild Growth Lands. I think's fairly good. Ruminap Excavator is a creature Crucible of Worlds. Okay, it beats for 2. You can buy back your lands, or replay your lands. It's not really buying them back. I'm okay with this card. Ronus' Last Stand. You make a 5/4 snake creature, lands don't untap. The token doesn't really help in like Stompy Devotion, but a 5/4 for 2 is really nothing to scoff at. The claim side of Claim to Fame. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Brings back Viscera Seer. It can bring back, I believe, Devoted Druid. So we're looking at a couple of things that are part of combo engines. So I believe Claim to Fame will get a little bit of run. Leave to Chance. I like Leave in a Mox Opal based, I guess Ironworks based deck, as additional copies of Open the Vaults or Face Reward, even though they don't do the same thing. Is you're looking to generate mana or generate storm by cycling through these cards. I mean, it's easier to do with the ones that return from graveyard. But you do a cycle where you sack everything to Ironworks, bring them back with Open the Vaults, get all their enter the battlefield triggers. With some of the floating mana, you replay Leave, or you play Leave, bounce a ton of stuff, replay it all. Will it see play? I don't know. Maybe. I like the idea of it though, so I put it up on my list. Fight me. Refuse. This card is going to deal 6 damage to so many people that cast Wormcoil Engine. I'm going to cast this last ditch Wormcoil Engine. You're going to take 6 instead, and that's game. Thanks for playing. Someone's going to get dealt 15 off casting an Emrakul, and it's going to be the greatest moment in Magic history. Hopefully when that happens, it'll be on screen, and whoever gets to cast Refuse takes a victory lap live on camera. Hollow One is an interesting creature. I've seen people talk about playing it in Living End, which I guess is fine. It's another cycler, but it also is an alternate win condition, because you cycle a bunch of stuff and then cast Hollow One for free, which doesn't seem terrible. I mean, a 4/4 for 0, pretty efficient. Although, I guess granted, in Modern Living End, it's going to be closer to a 4/4 for 3, or a 4/4 for 1. then it will be a 4-4 for 0. I'm not super excited about Hollow 1 because I think the living index in the format are already hyper efficient as is and don't really need this as an additional tool. But hey, living in's great. Mirage Mirror is, I think, going to be a really fun artifact of the formats. I don't know how this is going to be broken, but I believe this card is one of the more dangerous cards in the set. Hostile Desert is an alternate way for Life from the Loam decks to win. And that is going to be it for what I think is going to be modern cards from Hour of Devastation. Switch it back to me. I don't know why I'm switching it back to me. There's a dog in the background. There's also an air conditioner. Anyways, I want to thank you very much for hanging out with us here on LegitimateTG.com. See from the shirt. Popping it like I'm a basketball player. Alright. With that said, enjoy your pre-releases on Magic the Gathering Online. Enjoy your Monday. And have a great rest of the week. I'm Joshua Clater. This is LegitimateTG.com. And we'll see you next time.